Hello, it is Tuesday, February 7th, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Tuesday puzzle today, so it should be another relatively approachable themed puzzle, and I hope that's the case because, once again, I'm running a bit late today, and this time it's entirely my own fault. I can't even blame it on my computer, so I need to solve this puzzle in relatively brisk fashion. We'll see how that goes. This relatively brisk edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Connor O'Neill, Camtron, Henrik Koskinen, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Schulmaster. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous ongoing support in sustaining this channel and keeping this series going. I do very much appreciate that. And if you'd like to join their ranks as a benefactor and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve or in a link in the description field underneath the video, of course. And at that very same link, you can become a patron at any level you choose and get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. Thank you to everybody who has backed the Patreon campaign for any amount. I do very much appreciate it, and it really is what keeps this series alive. So thank you for that. Also, do subscribe to the YouTube channel if you've not yet done so. Thanks to everybody who has. And you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server in a link in the description field underneath the video as well. That's, of course, free to join and is a nice, friendly chat community. So check that out. And let's get on with the solve, shall we? So this is a crossword by Ellen Luschner, perhaps, constructor of around 10 puzzles. There's actually a word in French for around 10. It's dizaine, which is derived from the 10 for 10. And I always feel that would be a more and they have a word for dozen as well. It's but in English we really only have, I don't know, it's around a dozen. You could say around 10, but it just sounds odd. I feel if we had a common word like dozen that meant around 10, I would probably use that word much more. Anyway, Ellen Luschner has constructed around 10 crosswords for the New York Times, and this puzzle was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. All right, let's start solving. Donations. Alms, maybe, as in alms for the poor? Let's check the crosses on that. Members of a certain colony. Yes, you could have an ant colony, so members of it would be ants. And admires, looks up to, maybe? Yeah, if you look up to somebody, you admire them. That looks good. One of several traded for Jack's family cow in a fairy tale. Magic bean. Yes, so one of several. So just a single magic bean would be one of several that Jack traded in the fairy tale. One getting shorter throughout the morning. Shadow, because the sun's moving higher in the sky, and that's obviously that's part of the principle by which sundials, I couldn't think of what they're called, sundials work. Okay, organizer of a couple's cruise. Noah. Oh, we had almost this exact thing. We had something around couples or something to do with Noah's Ark and couples or coupling just in the last couple of days. Fraternity party attire that is traditionally Roman, not Greek. Toga. There we go. Oh, and I see, and it's called that because the fraternity system is sort of the kind of North American university fraternity sorority system is often called the Greek system, I think, and so this clue is pointing out that the use of togas is slightly at odds with that. Okay, fishtail maybe skid, so you could fishtail in a car and sort of skid in a big turn or something. Inadvertently, probably. Snack motivated Great Dane of Tunes, not Great Dune of Tanes. Scoob. So is that what we're looking for here? Scooby-Doo? His nickname was Scoob. So why is it a nickname? Oh, I guess because Tunes. Tunes is an abbreviated form of cartoons. I think that is our relatively subtle clue in this case, indicating that we're going to be using an abbreviated term, in this case a nickname. All right, a galley propeller could be an oar, so rowing in a boat. And farewells could be byes, so say goodbye. Oh, Paris Metro, BART, London Underground, subway series? Subway Series is a term used to, I think it specifically refers to when, if the New York Mets and the New York Yankees play each other in the World Series, because it's, the Subway Series drawing on the kind of iconic New York subway. And then I, I think that's what's going on here. So, and this is italicized, so I have no idea what this is suggesting about the theme, but obviously the Paris Metro, the BART, which is the San Francisco Bay Area Rapid Transit System, and the London Underground are three iconic subway systems. So this is a series of subway systems. So that's what's going on there. Fairly straightforward to solve. Although it helps to be familiar with the concept of the Subway Series, the baseball concept, which astonishingly I am. A bit of pageant attire. A sash, perhaps. You often see women competing in pageants have those sort of sashes that say something on them, I guess where they're from, that sort of thing. Great primate, great ape, and info on a trading card, a stat. So I suppose, speaking of baseball, a baseball card or something could have a statistic on it. Distinction could be an honor. If you were received a distinction, you received an honor from an institution. Like some restaurant orders could be ordered to go or takeaway here in the UK. Cry in an emergency. Cry in an emergency. I'm not sure. Why can't I see what that is? Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, Fender, Gibson, Yamaha. These are guitar brands. Well, Fender and Gibson are guitar brands, and Yamaha is a brand of many things, but including guitars. So, guitar series? Why would it? I don't think it's going to be series again. Guitar. I'm wondering if it's a musical term like scale or arpeggio or something like that. I'm not sure. Chord. I don't know. Can't think of anything. Cry in an emergency. Oh, run. Someone's yelling run because something dangerous is happening and you need to get away. No need to wake me. I'm up. Some electric cars could be Teslas. They could be manufactured by Tesla, the company. Forever stamp letters, U.S. Postal Service. So forever is being sort of camouflaged in here because this would be capitalized as a proper noun. The name of, these stamps are designated forever, and that's their actual sort of name because it means regardless of any future postage increases, these stamps will remain valid. So that's the U.S. Postal Service. Heap is a pile. I guess actually that's a verb or a noun. Like a bug in a rug could be snug, like the saying goes, snug as a bug in a rug. Homecoming attendee for short. An alum, an alumna, alumnus. Introspective rock genre. Here it is. The official rock genre of the New York Times crossword is, of course, emo. And 72, state flower of 67 across, and something else is pointing to. Oh, I see. 67, home to Bryce Canyon. Is it Utah? That's a national park. I believe it's Utah. And the state flower of Utah, I guess then would be the Sego. Okay, Silverado, Ram, Tundra. These are trucks. Oh, pickups. I see, pickup line. So a line of pickup trucks. Here we go. And a pickup line is, of course, again, its own independent concept that is separate to what's being clued. Okay, so we have fully solved two of the theme clues at least. Big initials in RV hookups. Do not have any idea about that. Online address in brief could be a URL, I think it's a uniform resource locator. And blank code 404 not found, e.g. That's an appropriate cross. That's an error code if you try and visit an invalid URL, for instance. Louvre Pyramid architect. The Louvre Pyramid, the sort of iconic pyramid, I guess, sort of extension or entrance to the Louvre Museum in Paris, was designed by I.M. Pei, the famous architect. My treat, it's on me, I'll pay. Car mentioned in the Beach Boys' Fun, Fun, Fun T-Bird. She'll have fun, fun, fun till her daddy, she had fun, fun, fun till her daddy took the T-Bird away. I can't remember if it's present or future tense. She'll have fun, fun, fun till her daddy takes the T-Bird away, I think it is. Anyway, T-Bird for Thunderbird. And future degree for one taking the GMAT would be an MBA. So the GMAT, I guess, is a business school exam, and an MBA is Master's in Business Administration, or Master of Business Administration, I guess. And here we have Sacre Bleu, which was sacred blue, literally in French, but a sort of light oath. So fair number of French reference in today's puzzle, plus my arbitrary reference to a French word before the puzzle began. Optimal is ideal, and then big initial in RV hookups, KOA. Yeah, I'm just not familiar with that. It must be a company that manufactures things for RVs. Okay, which are, what, recreational vehicles, sort of caravans. Give the cold shoulder. Ignore or snub or something like that. Author, illustrator Silverstein, Shel Silverstein, wrote Where the Sidewalk Ends. Was that Shel Silverstein, I think? I remember I had a couple of his books when I was young. I can't remember everything well, of course I can't remember everything he wrote. I can't remember anything else he wrote, I guess is what I should say. Is up in baseball. Leads, or why? What in baseball specifically? Oh, bats, maybe. You're up at bat. Is up in baseball bats. I think that's probably right. Give the cold shoulder. I don't know. Sister to Angelica and Peggy in Hamilton. I've seen Hamilton. I mean, I know these are historical figures as well, and not just in Hamilton, but Eliza, right? Okay, sorry. It just took me a second to remember that. There we go. Angelica, Eliza, and Peggy as they sing in their sort of introductory song. Okay, bona fide could be real. And Brian Batt's role on Mad Men. Oh, Sal, a character who sort of departed from the series fairly early on. What a great character Sal was. Some undergarments. Slips. You don't hear that used as often these days, but I do believe it's the answer. And then per capita, per person in statistical and like demographic statistics, things like that. Puzzle out could be sort out, or what? Puzzle. I'm going to suss it out, maybe? I think that's probably right. This looks like Zeus. Brother and husband of 15 across. Okay, Zeus. Indeed. The Greek god. And longtime sponsor of 8 Down. Oh, I bet it'll be STP. That's come up a few times recently. The motor oil brand that often sponsors motor races. So anyway, NASCAR. And wasn't there I think there was a reference from Zeus as well. Yes, there was. Brother and husband of 15 across. Hera, right? So third degree. Third degree. Oh, PhD, because your first degree could be an undergraduate degree, a bachelor's degree. Then you could receive a master's degree, and then you could go on to receive a PhD if you're incredibly academically ambitious. Okay, think ahead. You plan for something, you think ahead. And Scott Joplin's Maple Leaf Rag, a very famous piece of ragtime music. You'd certainly recognize, even if you don't recognize the name, which you might. Operatic solo could be an aria, featured song in an opera. And to confront someone or something could be to face them. Beast in rare sightings, a yeti. And the quotation marks go there to, I guess, acknowledge that it is unlikely that this is actually the creature you would have sighted. Buchanan, Duck, Duke. So Daisy Buchanan is a character from The Great Gatsby. Daisy Duck is a cartoon character, and Daisy Duke is from the Dukes of Hazzard, I think, which I've never actually seen, but I'm sort of broadly aware of through cultural osmosis. Anyway, Daisy chain. There we go. That's what we're looking for. We have a chain of various Daisy characters here. All right, something to watch on a telly. The BBC, I guess. Sort of surprised at the usage of telly there. That would suggest to me the answer would be, because, so telly is, I'm sure this is obvious, but just to explain my train of thought, Telly is British, maybe slang is putting it too strongly, but a British contraction of television. But I would have assumed that because of that, we would say something like Beeb, the Beeb for the BBC, which is also a contraction of a similar sort to telly. It's kind of a cute contraction of the word. So I'm kind of surprised that we're matching BBC, and I assume the reason for that is that it's abbreviating British Broadcasting Corporation, but BBC is their sort of official branding that they use everywhere, so it feels less contracted to me than telly does. But anyway, maybe this isn't even the answer. Let's find out. Willing to enter a lion's den, maybe. Brave. Okay, it probably is the answer. And Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Yes, there we go. That confirms BBC. Stadium shout could be rah, 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 rah. Famed firefighter Red. I weirdly think I know this. Red Adair was a famous American firefighter. I don't know why I know that or from what. Yeah, I can't really elaborate on this answer in any more detail. It's just a name I recognize. And containers of blood or ore could be veins, so they transport blood through your body, or you could have a vein of, mineral or ore in the ground. Surrealist Max Ernst, the artist, and ending with plug or trade, plug-ins or trade-ins, or both phrases, under the most unfavorable circumstances, at worst. And a spider's creation could be a web. Capital founded during the Viking Age must have been Oslo, Norway. And, well, bless your heart, you might say, either genuinely or condescendingly. If you're not deceived by someone or something, you're on to them. And if you finish without anyone winning, you end in a tie. To act confidently is to, I'm not sure. Ballad, e.g., is an example of a song. And actor Aykroyd, Dan Aykroyd, incredibly prominent comic actor of the 70s to 90s, I suppose. Fender, Gibson, Yamaha. Oh, right. So guitar string, there we go. Did not think of that one. I was thinking of sort of musical terms in a music theory sense, as opposed to, in this case, a musical term in a physical sense. A string of a guitar. Should have been thinking of that as well. But there we go. String of guitars. Act confidently is stand tall and gives the cold shoulder. To give the cold shoulders to rebuff. There we go. That's it. Oops. And this will complete the puzzle, I think. So let's just look at the crosses first. Opposite of save money is to spend money in this case. And word with circular or nail. So you could have a circular file or a nail file, two basically unrelated concepts that share the word file. And finally, to give the cold shoulders to rebuff. And if one took a nosedive, one fell. There we go. So that was the Tuesday puzzle, and a nice theme with some various collections of concepts here. So we had Buchanan Duck Duke connected in a daisy chain, the Paris Metro BART and London Underground connected in a subway series, the Fender, Gibson, and Yamaha strung together into a guitar string, and finally our Silverado, Ram, and Tundra would probably make for a fairly ineffective pickup line if deployed on its own. And there we have it. That was the New York Times crossword for Tuesday, February 7th. I hope you enjoyed it. I did as well. I did finish in time, but I don't have much left, so I am going to dash. But I will be back tomorrow, of course, for the Wednesday crossword. Midweek, mid-difficulty themed crossword. Do join me for that. I hope you do. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Tuesday. Take care.